छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन हे छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन
Hello, hello, hello. Here we are, Tuesday afternoon. We are live. We are doing readings. Get your digits to me. Hold on a second. I got to make some adjustments here. Okay, that's better. Get your digits, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. We look at your astrology chart. And everybody gets a speed reading. If you want more time spent on your chart, you send a gift to the channel. The details are down below. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. And I gift you back with time. That's how this works. One of my fellow new YouTube neighbors passed in the beginning of June. I think it was June 3rd. And his memorial, his service is on Saturday. And he's been part of the community actually for, 5 years or something like that. Maybe longer. I haven't kept track. But there's quite a few people on the channel who've asked about him in the past. And we're curious in any way that they could help. Dennis was a person who lived in his vehicle for a long time. But always, always, always found a way to help somebody else. Always found a way to save animals, to feed them, to feed the homeless. Right? The man living in the truck, feeding the homeless all the time. So, there is a GoFundMe that they created to help with his arrangements. And I think I put it in the chat there. If anybody's interested, check it out. First time I've seen your intro. Oh, hey, Sergius. How are you doing? Oh, you never saw the intro. Well, there you go. Now you know. Now you know. Okay, so Sergius, let's take a look, since I don't think Steve, the one who says astrology is fake and is spending his time, think about this, spending his time in the chat under something he thinks is fake. Don't need to say much else. All right. So Sergius, what are we looking at? Let's start with you. Let's get up and running on this. I have some folks that did already reach out, but we first come, first serve. So get in the queue, get in the chat. Say hello, get your digits to me. Some folks like to do the email thing. And you should be seeing that running across the screen for the email. Some people feel more secure doing it that way. That's fine. All right, let's see what we got going on here for Sergius. We'll see. We shall see Sergius. Let's take a look. And you're, Sergius, are you in Finland? I think I asked you once before, but I totally. It might have been somebody else. Because of your time, the time difference, right? I was like, holy shit. Oh, gotcha. Oh, well, it must have been somebody else that was watching from Finland, and they were talking about their time change and stuff. Or not the time change, the difference. You're in Virginia now. All right. That makes more sense. Let me see if we can get this up here for you real quick. Bam. There it is. So Sergius, remind me, what am I checking out for you? I think we've done where we were looking at career, right? Or work. But I could be confusing you with somebody else's chart. You know, last week was a really crazy week. It was a really... Yeah, so this is the Uranus at the 0 degrees. Yeah, it looks familiar to me. 27 degrees on the 11th house cusp line. Learning. Technology. Yeah, looking for feedback on the South Node transiting over the Ascendant and Mercury. Ah, okay. South Node. All right, let's get that up there. Oh, yeah, you got the 29 degree. That's right. Oh, and your Mercury there. Good God. Okay. So the timeline, you should be feeling this actually. You should kind of feel like you're already in it. It's just a couple of degrees off, right? So you should be kind of feeling that. And that might even be why you're here in the live stream, right? Curiosity, the learning. And your Mercury, oddly enough, well, not oddly, your Mercury is just tucked into your 12th house. So hidden communications, behind the scene communications. It can also be communications with somebody who is far away, you know, or something that's fuzzy. But this can be the learning thing as well, because that's Mercury. Very curious energy. And sibling energy is a big deal here too. But the 29 degree, got to tell you, like that's a Leo degree. And so we think boss energy, authority figure energy. And with the South Node going over that, this can be what's the word I'm looking for? A confirmation, so to speak, a confirming type of energy of your own authority for your life, your own authority for your communication, your learning, the way you speak, the way you are processing information, your mind energy, that's your Mercury. But also, let's not forget here, also our nervous system. And when people have their Mercury in their 12th house, or anything that is Mercury related, so Virgo, Gemini, these individuals are usually going to have like these hypersensitive nervous systems in general, because 12th house is a house of sensitivity. And let me see what we got going here, just so we're taking a peek for right now. Okay, Venus there. Yeah, then you're going to have Jupiter moving. So the thing is, when what you're talking about, when the node gets there, there's going to be other stuff. It's not going to be just that. It's going to be a nice combination of things, actually. And some of those things are going to, they're going to be supportive. Let me see what you've got on the lower. Yeah, okay, so I see. You have Uranus. That's the other thing. And so as the South Node gets there, it's already trining Uranian energy, which is the breakaway energy. So even though it's a confirmation of your Leo qualities, right? The very confident and courageous, the pride energy, but leadership roles, and hopefully leadership role in a way where it's not just about me. Like that's how the 29 degrees should be used, because it really is that degree of high testing. It's like the 303, we've already did the 101, the 202. Now you're in the 303 or your master's class, whatever. That's 29 degrees. And that is your ascendant and descendant. And so you see, as you look over at your descendant, what do you got? Yeah, you have group energy. So it's definitely the partnership stuff, but there's groups involved in that. So personal and professional partnerships. Now, the trine energy, let me move this forward so it makes more sense. where you can see that where the south node will be in fire. There you go. That's what you're looking for. You want that, right? So your south node on your Mercury, usually new information coming through, but something about the past possibly coming through as well, because it's a mixture of, your south node energy of bringing in the wisdom and the knowledge of the soul. Okay. And also a combination of striving for the group, striving for, and even if it's not like friends type of energy, it's this service to the group type of energy. So this is the networker, big time networking, and obviously technology, but it's a combination where, there's a lot of triggering of independent energy happening. Independent energy. So you holding your own flame, your own candle, so to speak, keeping it lit while you're within the group and able to work for group energy. Now, let me flip over to this. So the software does give some, talks about good news coming, but also that you need to be wary of making rash decisions. That would be absolutely for sure, because this node, remember, look carefully. The trigger is going to be, you have the fifth house cusp line here at 27, and the galactic center is right next to it. So it's more Leo energy. It's more fun, creativity, children, romance, but again, authority and being the authority of my own life. Really strong energy. And so whenever Uranus is going to get triggered, right? Whenever we have, okay, so this would have been, let me back that up a little bit for you. You're going to feel this strongly too. I would gather the end of June, the last week of June, you're going to feel Jupiter touching Uranus. It's in the location of your emotions and your home and family and nurturing and feeling safe and secure. Freedom is freaking huge for you. All right. It's a really big deal. So when the Jupiter touches on that, it's going to be a strong desire, strong inclination for freedom and to take off, to be free. So when the node then gets a little bit lower, gets closer, node's going to be triggered right there at the end of July. We've got that energy coming in strong. And this Mercury, this south node, communications, siblings again are highlighted anytime we talk about Mercury, but it's also coworker energy. It's coworkers, it's snail mail, it's housemates, classmates, peers. It's news of some kind. Now, because it's in Mercury, this can have to do with learning, right? Information and learning. So what the focus is here is releasing, because it's a south node, releasing a need for constant recognition, because that's kind of a thing with Leo energy, releasing the need for that. Okay. It's, kind of getting more balanced and away from self-importance. It's time to, focus on unity, group energy, and purpose. It's heavily focused on individual identity and personal expression, which may happen, but it's about balance and not losing sight of the collective and of the group. Okay, so that's the big deal here. That's the big deal. And with the node specifically, let me go click on this for the software and see what they say. The node cycle is ultimately about learning cooperation and equality, finding freedom, not through self-promotion, but through shared effort. Makes sense? So in embracing with the group energy, with the Aquarian energy, your north node at the opposite end, you contribute to building a future that values fairness, connection for the common good. Okay, now, because it's on your ascendant, you may feel that you're challenged in some way as far as your location, your appearance, your physical body, your right to express the way that you express everything about identity with Leo, and that fiery sort of recognition, sort of, prideful stuff. The node will kind of help you because what it will do is give you the urge, right? Because this is a South Node in Leo. It will reinforce South Node with Leo tendencies at 29 degrees. Remember, this is the degree of the little king, which is, well, United States president, current president. There you go. Little king, right? All about me, all about self. Anything that screams, yeah, just it's just about me. It's the me show with that energy. So this isn't to say that this is like a huge problem for you, but that's what you can expect. That's kind of the energy around it. Now, I do also think at this time that there will be, you're going to have Mars and Jupiter that are getting triggered beforehand. Okay, so work, stress, and tension, not a problem. It is fixed energy. Let me see what you got over there in the Taurus stuff. Okay, you don't have anything at 0. All right. Okay. Yeah. In general, this is basically the focus on self and others. That's all it is. It's just basically a focus on you recalibrating yourself. And the thing with that South Node is it will just kind of give you, more Leo tendencies than you've had before. So, like, I'm all important. What I want is what happens. I'm the king, damn it. So if I say this is what happens, this is what happens. Remember, just think boss energy. Just think boss energy. Have a lot of pressure on me to make drastic changes in order to keep the family together. Yeah, well, that's a good one because family definitely would be group energy for sure. And here's the thing that I think is important too, is at this time, as all this stuff goes through the Leo energy here, okay, that angles all your Scorpio stuff. And what do you have on your 4th house cusp line? You have Scorpio at 19 degrees. You see? So the stress at this time, by the end of July, Jupiter is no longer, you had Jupiter squaring your Mars, Jupiter squaring Jupiter. All of that was beforehand. By the time the node gets to 29, you've kind of gotten through all that already. However, you do have Hygeia here, which gives us a health report card. And that can literally be children. If you have children in your life, if you are the authority, if you are a father figure, okay, then you will have that Hygeia, which kind of gives you a gauge of what's going on. And it's with shared values, bonded energy. Communication styles are going to come up, though, and probably the local community. Maybe if there's, a 3rd house can be traveling, but like short distances. However, you do have Jupiter there, which is long distances. You have this combo of both. So whether that means you're going to be busy going back and forth to try to keep things together, to make appearances, or however that looks, give rides. I have no idea what your situation is, but you do see, right? Mars and Jupiter together, 2 degrees. So by now, though, at the end of July, that's all kind of a done deal. This Jupiter's moved on. Even this Hygeia is already at 5, and these two are sitting here at 2. So it looks like to me that your roughest patch for family and home and career. I'm just looking in the Gemini just to double check some digits here. 0 degrees. Okay. Yeah, it looks like the roughest patch will be the end of June. And then Jupiter kind of moves pretty fast. But again, Jupiter can provide great benefits. We just have to take things in stride and not go overboard. That's one of the key factors. So that's by mid-July. Most of that, most of the angling from the fixed energy to your fixed energy, especially in thoughts and communication and learning and teaching and speaking, sharing, and being busy. By the 3rd week of July, all of that will kind of ease off. And then you'll have the node sitting on your 29 degrees. Okay. So I hope that makes sense for you. Their birthdays are around the time the South Node goes into Leo. Actually, oh, well, there you go. So you understand what the challenge will be, right? Whether you're a one parent or a two parent home, or however that works in your life. Sometimes, especially when everybody's busy, right? Then we have to do a lot of juggling, and communication with Mercury is a big deal. Mercury moves fast, so there can be miscommunications. Like, oh, I thought you said this time and this and all that kind of thing, because your Mercury's in your 12th house. I mean, it's real close to your ascendant, but technically, when we look at those minutes, it's in your 12th house. So this is just going to be a challenge to all of that, I would think. Just so you know, there's also a little bit of there is also this let me move your chart real quick out of the way so you can see it, or the outer chart. Let me show you. Yeah, here you go. Right there, and maybe I mentioned this before, on your Mercury, you see there's this little pyramid or a triangle with an eye in the center. That's called America. And I call it, I look at it as, well, I'll just read to you what the software says. It might sound better than what I want to call it. Software talks about it's an attitude that we carry. It is about, because we think of America, right? It is about feeling that being part of a particular group justifies a person's behavior. It is focused on business and corporate dealings and finances. I mean, right? Yours is at the home degree. It's at the moon degree. So the public is part of this for you. The family, absolutely, when we talk moon energy. So the Mercury being there, right? It's conjunct it. That is probably going to end up being part of this bigger picture for you that gives more details, actually. So strong feminine energy. But the possibility for starting like a new cycle of some sort, because you have a lot of strong moon energy, moon degrees here that are going to get triggered. So possibly ending some sort of a cycle, but beginning a new one. That's a possibility. But you'll have plenty of fire to come in and support, and there's relationships there that are going to be there when the node gets, yeah. Because your Mercury is always in this beautiful trine with all this Sagittarius stuff of beliefs about the future. Oh, snap. Both their suns are in Leo and will be affected by that cradle aspect in July. Wow, what a big deal. But just remember, some of the keywords for the Leo energy is fun, having a good time, right? Children, joy, fun, creativity, being really creative. Yeah, Leo's good for all that. It loves to be entertained. It's one of the things that I like about it, is that it can walk in the room and it may have that air of authority, but it, as long as it's not abusing its authority, it can be a lot of fun to be around, So hopefully that's what you have to look forward to. Focus on laughter and fun and how everybody can have a good time. Okay. Yep, you are welcome. Let me close some things out that I have opened here. All right. Let's see what we're looking. Oh, I got to close your chart out. That might help too. Yeah, you are welcome. Okay, let's get this going from here. And okay, who's next? Anybody? Okay. If anybody is listening and wants to be a part of this, you got to get your name in the chat. You can just say hello. Of course, I would need your digits so we can take a look at your chart for you. And you could do, a simple glimpse into your natal chart. Maybe people don't have like these futuristic type of things that they're curious about. You can, the whole point of the astrology, this is the language, I look at this as light language. Honestly, that's what it is. It's holy language. It's sacred language. It truly is. Hold on a second. Let's see. I got some folks that, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, language of the light. Mm-hmm. And learning about self is just phenomenally a big deal. It's huge. All right, so where did that go? I just thought I had put that up on the screen. Oh, there we go. How about that? I don't know what happened. Okay, it's been playing games with me now. It won't. All right, whatever. How about this? It changed on me. So just so we know for the current moment until people get their digits in the chat, thank you for saying hello. If you want to get the readings, everybody gets a free reading. I call them speed readings, but this is based on the alignments up in the sky. So birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. You could always send them to an email. If you don't like that, just throw them down in the chat. But make sure I see you in the chat so I know who you are, especially if you send an email. Make sure that you let me know who you are in the chat because that's the order that we go in. And if you are here watching or if you are in the chat and if you have already sent me information, because you sent an email, it's possible that if you're showing up in the chat, the email that you sent might have given me a different name because I've had people who've already sent me information, but I'm not seeing your names in the chat anywhere. So, yeah, you got to clarify who you are so I can make sure that I'm reading for the right person. That will totally help. Okay. Yes. Hello, hello, hello. So the chart of the moment, since we're kind of waiting, I think. I see Denise Moore, but I don't have your digits. I see whoever, S-A-N. How about that? I'll stick with Sanch, okay? Because I'm just going to say it wrong, and I don't want to do that. How are you? I see Watkinson's Cat House. Hey, how are you? Yeah. Yeah, Sergius got here bright and early. Well, I think I was a little bit later than I planned on being here, but either way. So here we have on the screen right now for today, literally the chart of the moment. Sun at 25 degrees in Gemini, learning, my curiosity, and about what? Self. Yep. So the combination between anything in Mercury and Venus is always big. And what does Venus want right now? She wants to laugh. She wants to have a good time. She wants to be entertained. Venus kind of wants to chill a little bit. Yeah, she wants to play. This is all Leo energy. She also wants to take charge to make herself feel good because Venus is about the creature comforts. So that mixture of my mind, Gemini energy, and Venus, my desires, your addictions. Yeah, that's Venus, desires and addictions for sure. And the nodes are at 2 degrees, addiction energy. This is also peace. So we shall see if we actually have peace, right? Yep. We shall see. But look, Uranus is also at 2 degrees, but it's getting close to 3. You know what that means? That's going to amp up everybody's mind. Your mind will be going super fast. That's super freaky fast. Curiosity for different and new and never been done before and very unconventional energy. That will be that Uranian energy and its effect on the mind. Right now we have Mars at 21 degrees. That's a Jupiter degree. Mars is your physical body, trying to stay comfortable. Jupiter can bring on exaggerations. So in regards to what you need to feel comfortable, think about that, right? Sensitivities as far as smell, taste, touch, temperature, even, and a whole slew of other extrasensory perceptions that have been amped up over, man, I think before the pandemic. I mean, I think it's been a long-term building process. I feel like it really came online when we had Uranus in Aries. And now, if you look where Uranus is in Gemini, it's a sextile to what it began in Aries energy. You follow? So I think whatever you felt when the Uranian energies were going through Aries, as far as, holy crap, what is that? I've never noticed that before, right? Just extra things coming online. Like, I'll give you a quick example. It's nothing freaky. Well, it was freaky, a little bit freaky at the time, but um, I was working at a job where, and this was with the Uranus while it was going through Taurus. Okay. I had worked with dough before, had baked before, tons of times. Not a new thing, right? And I was working professionally doing that. So that meant I was doing that a lot more. And what I noticed, and it was the weirdest damn thing, I would like pick up dough and move it around, and it was as if it was oozing through my fingers, like it was a real liquidy type of a dough, but it wasn't. It was very firm, but it felt like it was just roll, like it felt so real. I would, when it first started happening, I would literally be like, what is going on? Like, I would look at the bottom side of my hand because it felt like it was running through my fingers. And I could not, for the life of me, figure it out. I was like, what the hell is that? It wasn't painful. It was just the awareness of feeling that like you're holding water and it's running through your hands. It was very freaky in a way because it was just new. It was different. It was something I'd never perceived before. And I definitely feel like Uranus going through Taurus was definitely what amped that up. Do I put my email here in the chat? No, do not put your email in the chat. You can put your birth digits in the chat, or you can email me at allastrologee@gmail.com. Because if you put your email in the chat, you may have people emailing you that you don't want emailing you. So I wouldn't recommend that. My email is on the screen. I know it's moving, and I'll put it here real quick. Just so that it's in the chat here right under yours. Okay. Allastrology is spelled different than you would normally spell astrology, so be aware of that. And Watkins, oh yeah, no problem. I got your email. Oh no. Oh Lord. Oh. Okay, I'm reading your email, and yeah, that's actually a big deal. That one's an air sign and one's a fire sign. That is a big deal. Oh, wow. Oh Lord. Oh, get out of here. A Gemini rising, Aries sun, and Aquarius moon. Oh, that was a handful, lady. That's yeah, because that's an air and fire mixture, and holy shit, that is some woo. You know what happens with air and fire when you mix them together, right? The fire becomes bigger. Holy shit. Wow. Okay, Watkinson, so let's see. Since I've got your digits, we're going to get you up here. Oh, no, yeah. Don't worry about it. Let me get your chart in here. And I do want to make a mention. I know I don't think I have it on the screen still, but first let me get your chart up here because I'll be talking my head off and forget just what I'm doing. So let's get Watkinson Cat House, right? Yeah, let's get that up here. And let's take another look at this. I know we looked at this before. And I want to switch this so my head is not in here. I don't know why this chart. I'm not sure what happened. Wow. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this. Okay, Denise, I see what you got there. Do me a favor, get all your digits together and put them together in the same chat. So your birth time, your birth date, the city you were born in, the state, the country, so that we know we have all your birth digits. Keep them all together when you put them in the chat, okay? All right, Watkinson Cat House. Let's take a look and see what's what for you. And by the way, any gifts that are sent to the channel for today's live stream, I will be forwarding. I don't think I mentioned that piece either. Yeah, I'm going to forward that for Boondocking with Dennis's memorial services. He was living out of his truck for many, many, many years. And so we're just trying to get him taken care of. All right, Watkinson, let me see what I can see here for you. Let's go to the Jupiter thing. Everybody's concerned about that. Actually, let me do something real quick. Let me remove this. And let's see some of the basic stuff here. Jupiter, Pluto. Okay, so what I do see is you have a Pluto at 4, and that would probably definitely be a trigger because it's a Pluto in shared values. And it is in the 9th house, which could be lawyers and courtrooms, right? Legalities, absolutely. So this over here, let me see if you have anything lower in the fire signs. Okay, we've got karma here. Aha, there you go. So 3 degrees. Got it. Okay. So you're hoping that it starts back up again, if I understood that correctly. So what'll happen is Jupiter is going to sit here in your 7th house of in Leo. It's going to trigger your 11th house cusp line, the angelic realm. And guess what you have there? You have Aquarius there. That's really nice. So the Saggy energy again is courtrooms and lawyer energy. And the Jupiter will trigger that 3 degrees. So now that we can see that with all that kind of out of the way, let me see if there's going to be... Okay, you have Neptune also here. And, the 4 degrees is a really big deal. That's what made me kind of like pop when you have your own Pluto at 4, because we have the Aquarius energy right there. You see that at 4. And your sun is there, and the sun is retrograding. So something's definitely changing for sure. Your own Pluto is going to be triggered. Now, what do we got? 452, and you're at 441. Is that right? 4 degrees. Yes, 441. Okay. Then we can kind of... Oh, wow. It's okay. So this will be at the same time for you. Let me back this up just a smidge. So we can give you... So end of June, beginning of July. This Jupiter will trine your 11th house cusp line. So whether it's judges and rulings, It can be travel, it can be extended education, but at number 3, it is information and news, can be learning though, right? Can be learning. And let's go look at your natal Jupiter, and it's at 26 in Capricorn, so it is about values and money, material, tangible. This is a Venus degree. Capricorn, long-term financial security. And what do you know? Mercury's at the opposition of your Jupiter then. Okay, so this is tricky. Yeah, you knew you were going to have to hear that. Because Mercury will begin its retrograde right here. And do you see the retrograde that Mercury's going to be taking? Holy shit. It's exactly where your Mercury and your Jupiter are at the opposition. Wow. Okay. So this means that there might be paperwork, communications, definitely partnership energy. Families connected because it's all in your 7th house. And I would say because Pluto is going to be squaring your Pluto, right? It's Pluto in Aquarius. This is all at the same time. End of June, beginning of July. You have all of these objects. And so change is definitely part of the story and the theme going on because the Pluto is on your sun. Let me see if you have a Taurus. Okay, nothing there. And then your Pluto versus Pluto. Yeah. So surprises can be a thing. You may find that it becomes unsettling because life in general, whether it's home, work, health, job, any forms of external support are likely to alter. And so it can feel unstabilizing for sure. It can also be exciting, but the recommendation during these kinds of episodes, because everything changes, nothing stays the same. That's one of the beautiful guarantees of the astrology, is that you just kind of got to embrace the change because it's going to happen regardless. And it's almost like learning how to surf. If you've ever surfed before or tried, or if ever you've wanted, or doing something that is constantly requiring you to like recalibrate and pivot and to just constantly adjust to all the changes, adjusting to the movement of, the ebb and the flow of the water type of thing and the waves. And that is honestly the best recommendation, is learning to somehow being able to just keep my nose above that water line. And then when I'm feeling strong enough, I get back up on my feet. But it does, normally during any Pluto stuff, the lesson is that a resistance of any kind is usually guaranteed to bring pain. So if you're willing to make these pivots and these adjustments, then it goes less painfully because you're taking a part in it as opposed to being forced into some changes. Okay. And the whole point of the whole experience, because it's Pluto, is meaningful purpose. So the whole experience is that once this period is over, you will be more purposeful and resourceful and strong. And it's about also building self-esteem and knowing, I made it through that. So it's an opportunity to strip away any illusions, delusions, any masks that stop you from being yourself type of thing. It's an opportunity to be your authentic self, to think of, there might be unconventional ideas and adjustments that have to be made, things that can actually be of assistance, but that it just never occurred to you before. The word assistance keeps coming through really strongly. So keep that in mind. But sometimes for some people, they don't really understand the full impact of what they just went through until many, many, many years later. Obviously, you got kids, you're relying on, somebody's supposed to be kind of responsible with that with you. So I get it. It's definitely a challenge. But at the end of the day, it comes down to personal growth. That's kind of, the big lesson with Pluto squaring Pluto energy. Now, because Jupiter will be making a trine, and because it's the Mercury retrograde, maybe it's you have to wait all the way until after that retrograde is completely over and out of its shadow period before you have more clarity of, okay, this is what's happening and this is the new cycle. This is the new thing that we're in. I'm praying that's going to be a good thing for you. Jupiter is not your great benefic in your chart. Your great benefic is Venus. So I'm what's the word? Not cautious, but I guess I'm trying to just be a realist, right? It's not so much about the Jupiter that's going to, it can bring the good, but it's usually Venus for someone who has your sun in the location it does. Now, I will say that Venus will touch your midheaven, but it's not until mid-September where she touches that. Yeah, like the second, third week of September. But what that can mean is that because of the Mercury retrograde and having to wait until she gets back up to 26 degrees, and I'm going to give you the date on that because then we could at least feel a little bit more like, okay, now that we have all the information, I got the final notice or whatever, however that goes, whatever you're going through exactly. Yeah, this is like August 8th. So it's about the same timeline of when Venus arrives. So Venus arrives on your 9th house cusp line around August, but then she goes to your 10th house cusp line of long-term commitment and bonded energy and, shared interests and shared values. Bonded energy can be offsprings, of course, for a couple. Yeah, so August and September might bring information that you're like, yes, thank God. Because with all the retrograde that's going on, it's all going to be talking to your Saturn and your node here. You see, they're part of this retrograde. So whether that means Mercury normally filling out paperwork, signing something, them sending that stuff to me, I have to fill it all out, I have to send it back, that kind of stuff might be going on. But yeah, it's not until August 8th that all that is completed and that Mercury gets the information sent off to Saturn. And it's not until September till Venus hits that midheaven where she can hopefully shower you with what you need. Now, if Jupiter does something beneficial before that time, it's possible. I feel like I would need to see a lot of really big objects in addition to that. Now, granted, you're still going to have Pluto on your sun. That is a big deal, right? So look at it this way when I talk about Pluto, whatever the current conditions are, there's going to be a change. Okay? So if you're like, hell yeah, I'm ready for a change, I need a change. Or if you're like, oh God, no, things are going good right now, I don't want a change, don't rock the boat type of thing, right? Does that make sense for you? Moon at 3 degrees Aquarius. Wow. Wow. I just looked at the chat. Yeah, that matters because that's where Pluto's going. Now, when it comes to the Aquarian energy and Pluto, the minutes matter. So this Pluto retrograde, it goes to 3 something, but I don't know, if you don't know the minutes of his moon, it might not even the minutes it's going to go to like 304. It must stop right about there because I know it doesn't leave 3 degrees. Yep, that's exactly where it goes, to 3 degrees and 4 minutes. So if his moon is higher than that, like 3 degrees 10 minutes, 3 degrees 20 minutes, then the Pluto's touching on his moon. And that would be a change for him, a change for home and family, nurturing energy, feminine energy. Yeah. Yeah, it matters. Hey, Haffers, how the heck are you in the library? Good for you. That's a place I always love is a library. Always, always, always. You are welcome. Absolutely, you are welcome. All right, Denise, are you still here? I think I see your stuff. I think I see your digits. Denise, it says, November 12th, 1959, 5:53 p.m. in the United States. Do you have a city, Denise? I need a city. Birth town. Yes, I do. Okay. Let me go check the email, see if anybody emailed. I can't do anything without the digits, so I'll move forward. You know what, Kat Watkins, thank you so much for the gift to the channel. Let me check another chart for you just real quick because I realize I haven't. Okay, so right now this year, let me go to this year. That might help. Okay, I'm in this year. Oh, wow. They're saying August. Okay, interesting. Oh, well, I hope this is going to bring the news that you want because you're in a Mercury year. You're in Gemini energy, all about information and what you're learning and news. And that, of course, always involves paperwork and filling stuff out. Yeah. And it says that August of 2026 is highlighted for you. Let me go there real quick. Let me see what they say about that really fast. August 23rd. Okay, because that's your birthday, the 23rd. Got it. All right, let me see real quick here. We got like winds blowing and the doors are all doing funny things. So Denise, yeah. Oh, Denise did find you. Okay, good. All right. Got the birth location. All right, Denise, then you're up next. And I don't know if Haffers wants a reading or not, but Haffers would be next. After Haffers, it would be Susie. So hang in there, Gary and Deanna. I'll be right there. It's so funny because earlier today, I was watching a Jackson 5 video. It was an old recording of a live performance they did in Gary and Gary when Michael was, super small. And I thought, oh my God, I would have loved to have been there. I was like, holy shit. Crowd was just going nuts. And I'm thinking, damn. And they broke out into the song. What did they break out into? Coming Back to Gary. Oh my God, they just went wild. They went wild. You could just feel the energy in that room, man. All right, so Watkinson, I got you on the screen. We're looking this date up because, okay, the moon's going to be in Capricorn. This is what the software said. It highlighted this day in particular. Well, you're definitely feeling a little bit of ease because Pluto is now at 3, so it's not on your Pluto anymore. And this will be your last Pluto squaring your Pluto, by the way. Okay. So that'll be good, especially because it's a Pluto that's retrograding. It's tough. Saturn at 14. Okay. Let me see. 14. Oh, well, what do you know? So this Saturn is retrograding. It is possible that when this Saturn retrograde began in July, because it's stronger than third house of communications, long-term financial material security is Saturn. It's trining your Uranus. 11th house again of that angelic realm and assistance. Interesting. Jupiter will now be at 11. Oh, and Jupiter's going to end up being at 11, getting higher. Not necessarily on this day, but it will definitely trine your Uranus energy like we mentioned before. But now Mercury is clearing the Leo energy, and it's conjunct that 8th house cusp line. More change, but bonded energy. It's Leo energy, so authority figures, my romantic partner, but children, fun, joy, creativity. It talks about Mercury being conjunct the South Node in Leo. Okay. And Mercury is your perfected planet. Well, Gemini is, but Mercury is a big deal for you until your birthday. So serious thought is a big deal here. So you might feel like there's obstructions going on, and perhaps you're being asked to think again about something. Communications about a detail that you may have missed. Are you pushing ahead and on a fruitless mission? I'm just reading from the software. Do you need to seek more experienced counsel? Because 7th house definitely can be lawyers. You may not realize how narrowly focused you're being in your thinking. Take another look at the things in your life that may be troubling you. That's not a big help. Let me go to your Gemini energy. Uranus at 5 degrees. Okay, I'm just checking. Yeah, the big deal for you right now is because you had the node sitting on your moon. You have a 1 degree moon, so you have the north node there. So a big, the home and the family start to feel and look like they're getting confusing and fuzzy with the node there. But this Uranus, what effect is this Uranus going to have? I'm looking. You will have Mars going through the house of work and home, very busy activity in the work and the home. Okay. Yeah. I'm not, I'm looking on this date because this is kind of what they recommended, that this would be a significant day. And what I do see is the sun up in the sky in Virgo, domestic energy, service energy, health, the details, Mercury. And it's a nice trine to your Neptune in the 12th house. So whether this is a symbol of you getting additional support and assistance, because that Neptune, especially in the 12th house, can be that additional support and assistance. And it's authority figure. So it's possible that there might be maybe assistance in a way you weren't thinking. Some other options. But a communication, and does have to do with the wounds of the past. But maybe insurances as well, because it's the 8th house energy. And Mercury's going to then just jump right into your 8th house. So I don't know if that helped. That might have just made things more confusing, me looking that up. But when they showed that data, I thought, well, I should probably go there. Yeah, Venus is still in Libra. It's stuff I already looked at. Yeah, I think hopefully that made sense. Maybe didn't. Hope it didn't make it more confusing for you. All right, let me get the chart up here for Denise. Denise, are you still there? Say hello in the chat. So I'm making up a chart for somebody who I know is still here, as opposed to creating a chart for somebody who didn't have the patience and who left. Yeah, we do these live streams on Saturdays, and sometimes we get, I just can't get to everybody's charts. So I kind of have been using these Tuesdays as an overspill. And I don't know why, but the last few Tuesdays, the people who are like, yeah, I'm going to be there, like, they're not here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be live. I'll look at you then. And I mean, I know life happens. And that birth date, again, is November 12th, 1959. That's correct, right? Yeah, and if you don't know your birth time, just whatever you do, don't make one up. Just say you don't know it. And you said Toledo, I believe. Toledo. Oh, wow. They made it so much easier to create a chart. Thank God. It used to be a pain in the butt. Oh, there we go. Now the system went back to normal. I don't know what the hell. Okay. So, Denise, are you here? All right. Denise is like, I'm here. All right, Denise, this is you. Have you seen your chart before? Have you seen your birth chart? This is showing Taurus on the ascendant at 25 degrees. An Aries moon that's jumped out, conjunct Pandora's box. And of course, a Scorpio sun conjunct Juno. Whoa. 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 Look at all the Scorpio we got going on here. Wow. Okay. Even your frickin' Mars is there in that house. Health issues. Well, I'm only mentioning that because the 6th house is the house of health. You have a lot of stuff in the 6th house. Now, it doesn't have to be horrible, just so we're clear. But normally the Mars is the physical body. It's also the head. Our passions, our drive, our ambition. Well, yeah. It's very impulsive energy, but it's one hell of a frickin' warrior. Health comes up again in wounds for you, big time. Not just because of this. Good God, you've got this huge, strong kite, and it's got Chiron at the top. Wow. The authority on healing in a very unique way. Interesting. The wounds of humanity, group energy, but also friendship energy, social services, the ability to join groups with a cause, particularly those that heal humanity or teach spiritual ideals. So you may feel insecure within groups. You may have some sort of a wound over friends, maybe even authority figures. But there's these wounds themselves, which actually make you the healer of those exact wounds, because you understand it. This can be some restrictive energy on my identity, my independence, and my freedoms. And so sometimes that group energy, there can be some uncomfortableness. And this is part of this huge kite. So let me, before I get all excited over how cool this chart is and how different it is, you have seen this before. Okay. Okay, halfers, you're going to be next. If you're still here, very good. Glad to see you. Wow. I feel like I want to make this chart. Yeah, I mean, are you working in social services in some way? Because like this is what this would be. You know, whenever we see a kite in a chart, let me make some movements here. Whenever we see a kite, and halfers, you would know this. You got a big old kite in your chart. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know you do. Whenever we see this kite energy, it's a symbol for kind of like a life path, but a spiritual one. You know what I mean? So yours would have everything to do with doing something for humanity. It's really altruistic energy. It's group energy. The humanitarian energy is what this is. Oh, now this software is going to give me a hard time. Let's see if I can. There we go. Yeah, so you got that big kite there. And the boss energy for your kite it's big. Now, this can be slowdowns. I just want to emphasize that. It can also be slowdowns. But once we handle the slowdowns, we don't take shortcuts. And we take each step. We climb the ladder by putting our foot and our hand on each rung. There's no, I can jump up, skip 5 of them, and all of a sudden I'm, you try to do that and you fall back down to the bottom again. And so that's what this says, that it's a long time, but there can be leaps and bounds made sometimes. There can be some surprises. So a healing of that group energy, healing of the friend energy, dad energy, it's possible that's involved, or authority figures of those groups, any kind of a group you were ever involved in. But 22 comes up a lot for this kite, and that is slowdowns. So that says that what I'm talking about and this wound that you have over independence and freedom and individuality and, being different, not fitting in with the crowd or the group and, needing to go your own way. It may take a long time for you to feel like finally, that's no longer got a hold on you. It's not so much a wound anymore, but you embrace it, you own it type of thing. Because that's how Chiron works. Chiron is energy that, someone's like rubbing salt in a previous wound. But once we have our Chiron return, usually when we are, once we have that Chiron return, we act very different with this. So the 22, it's just big. Wow. Not to mention all the stuff in the 6th house. Yeah, you even have a nice trine to that too. Yeah, well, the thing is that this 22 degrees can also represent, just like what the 10th talks about, our career, and 22 again can create slowdowns where we're just not We kind of feel stagnant, like we're not moving. But the kite itself talks about a spiritual journey. Okay. Yeah, you have Spica trine in that too. Wow. You got a trine here too. Yeah. Like you got a lot of stuff here in this chart. A lot of big energy. And that's one of the things that I think, see, this is like what I call the Solomon star. Is I think as humans, we always, many times a sign of success, right, is what somebody does for a career or job and what they've actually accumulated and created, right? Like, ooh, look what they have. Look where they live, type of thing. Or they did this, they did that, all these accomplishments, all these accolades, because it's kind of how we're bred. It's kind of how we're brought up and schooled, right? Oh, don't you want to get a good job? Don't you want to do this? Don't you want to do that? And for sure, money makes the world go around. We need it to eat. We need it to live. But the spiritual stuff doesn't give a shit about any of that. It says that's the easy part. It's the challenges, the other challenges, the hard stuff, the self-maintenance. And I don't mean like of our physical bodies necessarily, but definitely the self-maintenance of our shadow sides. That's the hard stuff. How we treat other people, our intentions. Are we maintaining and are we parenting ourselves? That's the hard work, especially when people are around us who are horrible. Yeah. So those bigger challenges definitely come, and yeah, they're no joke. So you have a huge 6th house, and the 6th house again is daily routines and work, but it is health. Health is a big deal. And in your chart, the great benefic, the great benefic is Venus. So communication, oh wow, she's got a hell of a boost there too. Relationships, look at that. Significant one-on-one relationships. Communicating, talking, writing is big. Contracts are big. Lawyer, equality, fairness, like that's all big stuff. Significant one-on-one relationships, personal and professional. You do have it in the 5th house, so maybe that's with children, romantic partners. That's where your North Node is. That's where, like your soul said, this is what we came to work on in this lifetime type of energy. But this means Saturn would be your great malefic in your chart. Remember when I said slowdowns? Saturn, the great malefic. Delays, slowdowns. This can be the structure of the body, the bones, it can be a whole lot of different things. Saturn's the boss, Simon Says, that's Saturn. But yeah, having Venus conjunct your North Node, and that's your planet that should bring gifts and beautiful things, fine art, entertainment in the 5th house, shoe shopping, but beauty is going to be big. Beauty and harmony, the word harmony, big. Oh, you have a Saturn trine your Pluto roughly. Okay. Home and family, Saturn at 4 degrees. Okay. Well, that's not fun. That can be tricky. I think it's probably good that you've got the Leo energy in the 4th house like that. Mom energy, home and family, but different and unique, unconventional, science and technology, possibly medicine. That's all big there in the 4th house. Disruptions too. Authority figure, really big. The authority of your own home. Yeah. Whether it's yours or not, something there where you will take authority for sure. Okay, so Denise says yes. Okay, I don't even know. I talk and ask too many questions and I don't read the chat. Let's go. No, not working at all. Okay, well, that's 6th house. And that Chiron at the top of the wounds there, and it's in the house of Saturn. That makes a lot of sense with this. I have poly. Okay, I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look that up after we're done. Make myself familiar. Don't know. Teamwork. What's going on? Distracted. Oh, I bet you are. I bet. I got a housemate. One of my housemates not into soccer or any of that crap. I've been hearing about it every damn day. Like, I didn't know you were into soccer. They're not. It's just having people from other countries here and just all the, whatevers that are going on. Because it's here in the US. All right, let me get to the next chart. Denise, I'm going to save your chart since that's you. You confirmed that that's your chart. I'm going to save that in my system. And then that way, I already saved it. That way your digits are already here. So if you ever come back, yeah, it'll be easy. You won't have to give your digits. You just show up with that name that I have on your chart, which is the name you showed up today, and we'll be able to take a look at your chart. All right, so halfers, are you still there now? Well, my born country is in also. I know, I'm telling you, man, my housemate, I just never knew. Like, I had no idea. They're just thrilled having all these foreigners in the country, I guess. And you know what it is? They watch videos of the foreigners who are here, and they're kind of tripping on like American ways and stuff or whatever. I don't know. Just the different things about America they didn't realize before. And they're like, and I'm like, I'm surprised they stayed. I'm surprised they didn't turn around and leave. Heifers, I haven't looked at yours in a while. What do you want me to check out? I can get your chart up here. What am I looking at? And then after heifers, Susie. You're next, Susie, okay? Right after heifers, so hold on. All right, heifers. Let me get your heifers. You know what? I don't even know if I've looked at your chart since I'm in this new system here. Crap, I might not even have you in here. It's been a while, hasn't it? Or did I already look at you? Oh, I must have. I have you here. Good. It's been so long. But if I have you here, that means I already looked. Oh, wrong one. Let's get the other one out. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's some strong wind we got going on here. That's okay. There was horrible tornadoes. Not here, but south of me in central Illinois, there were some really bad, like whole areas just, gone, demolished, leveled. It was like, God, maybe an hour south of me, maybe an hour, maybe less. Too close for comfort, I know that. Okay, so heifers, what do you want me to look at real quick? No luck, gambling a little to win the lottery. Finances, going through a lot of stress. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, heifers. Well, if you're actually gambling, then I would be cautious. Okay, let's see what's going on. Your Jupiter's going to go into Leo. Yeah, you got Jupiter in the 7th house, but you don't have Jupiter training Jupiter yet, heifers. You know that, right? I know you do. But I guess you're thinking, but gee, look where Venus is. Venus is training Jupiter, and it's Jupiter and Uranus connected. I understand your angle, bro. Okay. Venus is not your great benefic. Jupiter is, okay? So if you're doing the gambling with Venus, make sure it's really small amounts. I'm just saying, I would, it's not that it can't be possible for her to win big, but I would, I just hate for people to, gambling can be dangerous. But I see your angle. I totally see it. Hopefully, you're working on a long-term angle as well. Something for the long term, right? Now, the Jupiter, Venus doesn't go through your second house until she hits 16, but that's going to be a little bit. And let's see what we're looking at. Venus, so it's going to be, yeah, like the end of the month. So it's not too far off. And are you looking for work? I'm like, are you available to work? 13. Oh, I see. Saturn is, you got Saturn messing with your moon, amigo. Yes, that's where the Saturn retrograde began at 14 degrees. Okay. Got it. Okay. So you have Saturn squaring your moon, stress and tension to the home and to the family. Alrighty. Interesting, because you have the sun sitting right on your north node right now, too. Oh, you sure do. So this is a very small, short type of transit. It talks about communication. Sun can be recognition. Something or someone may enter your life right now, enabling you to shine more brightly. I mean, it's a quick thing. It started yesterday, it's today, it's tomorrow, and then it's done and over with. So there just might be some options, some ideas, because we're talking Gemini energy, some communication that you may have found beneficial. I'm trying to see, maybe that's what we're doing right now. You have something at 27. So the sun's going to trine your vertex. Okay. In the 4th house. That's emotions. It's in Libra, can be lawyer energy. I don't know if that's a thing that you're needing or utilizing, but partnerships, personal and professional partnerships. The sun trining the vertex energy can be an opportunity. You might have to make some decisions, some choices, but home and family. Networking is usually big with this energy. Might be paperwork and contracts because it's Libran energy. Okay. Now, with all that said, this Saturn isn't going away, unfortunately. You're still going to be dealing with Saturn. All right. And Saturn provides restrictions and slowdowns in our freedom because it's Saturn in Aries. And so it's in your 9th house. So your thoughts about the future, this can also be lawyer energy and extended education type of stuff, but traveling. So if you were traveling, maybe Saturn's kind of put a damper, put like a freeze on those items for you, possibly. It can also mature the Aries energy up because it's about discipline with Saturn. So you probably need to be quite disciplined during this time. So the beautiful thing is that Saturn will eventually start to trine your 2nd house cusp line of money and income. Now, the question is, when is that going to be? Because we have to wait for the Saturn retrograde to end. So you're going to have some time before Saturn gets all the way back to the 16 degrees. So we're talking 2027. before Saturn gets there. And the beautiful thing for you Heifers, I don't know if you can see this right here on this chart, is you're going to have Jupiter, that will first enter your second house to possibly bring you some good and help you out before then. Okay? You will have Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to enter into your second house of money and income around September. Yeah, within the first 14 days, you'll feel Jupiter entering into the second house, which can bring you some confidence. It can bring like a very optimistic outlook on the money and the income and your values. That might be wonderful for you. But as far as like a steady income kind of thing, you'd probably want to wait till Saturn started sending a nice trine, and again, not until 2027. Okay. Now, Jupiter may also provide you a little bit of that luck energy that you're looking for, that you're kind of working with right now, because you obviously know your chart. And so that begins like the second, third week of July, when this Jupiter, which is moving fast, by the way, will start working with your Jupiter and your Uranus in the house of luck. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. I know I kind of went forward and backwards, but yeah, I hope that helps you a little bit. Yeah, you do have a hard chart, no doubt. Yeah, well, the Virgo energy is good. Domestic energy, hygiene, housekeeping, helping around the home and whatnot. Yeah, that's good energy. Like I said, Jupiter's going to go through here. It's going to be in the Leo energy of the income and the money. So hopefully those dates give you a little bit of help. Sorry, a notice letter. We may have a letter to get from new landlord to move out November, December. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Oh, you've got a lot. Well, hopefully you paid attention to the dates I spoke about when Jupiter's going to provide some assistance. All right, so where did Indiana go? Gary, Indiana. Susie, are you still here? Yes, keep your fingers crossed. You're welcome. You hang in there. Okay, polycythemia? I don't know how to say this. Is a rare blood cancer. Blood. Scorpio, and all that Scorpio. It wasn't just Scorpio, but a ton of Scorpio in the 6th house. That will turn into leukemia. Oh, well, that sounds not encouraging, that's for sure. Okay. Well, you hang in there, Denise. Hopefully you can find ways to, I don't know, something that can give you joy. Something, someone. Life can be very cruel and unfair, that's for sure. Susie's here. All right, Susie, let's get your chart. Let's get your digits. Have you seen your chart before? Okay, Christina Ann, I see you. Oh, you got your digits and your location. Good job. Thank you. I love it when people make my job easy. Oh, Christina says, do you still have my chart? Oh, well, I'll get there. If I had it before, I should have it again, but thank you for putting the digits in just in case. Sometimes the software gets weird. All right, so Susie, let's get your chart drawn up. We got a lawnmower going across the street. I do have the window closed. It got cold here. I mean, yeah, we've had some Some wild weather. Okay, September 15th, 1961. And we got 11:25 a.m. Oh, why did I do that? I see what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, I got it. The software's like... Okay. I got to do the time one more time. There we go. All right, Susie. Did you say if you've seen your chart before? So we can confirm if this is you? She says, I haven't. Okay. All right. Well, then we're going to get this up here. You're welcome. Speed readings. All right. So, Susie, did you get this birth time off your birth certificate? Virgo sun, Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon. Woohoo! All the Scorpio energy checking in today. Aha, the nodes just jumped right out. Look at that. Got it. Okay, you have a retrograding Saturn and a retrograding Jupiter. All right, well, if this is you, Neptune in the 12th. Scorpio moon at 25. Watch out, world. 25 and Scorpio. These are soldiers. Now, it's your moon in Scorpio. So this can represent mom, but this can also mean that emotionally, like, yeah, you can go to battle. It means that we can kind of pop off at the handle, like have a short wick type of thing. But the emotions with Scorpio are buried very deep, and they're extremely intense and powerful. Like, whoa. So some folks might even think that you're a very intense individual. If this is your chart, like if we have all the digits correct, that's what makes it tricky. This is showing your Mars and Mercury are conjunct, which has a lot to do with communication style. So normally a person with stuff in Libra, they're going to communicate in a harmonious, almost even like a soft-spoken way, maybe. But yours is going to be a little bit more spontaneous, sporadic, unpredictable, and probably considered aggressive at times. At times, maybe not all the time, but at times, especially with the short wick moon. And maybe mom was the one with the short wick moon, but it is in your first house. So it's probably talking about you. Your Chiron at 3, you just had the North Node on your Chiron at 3. So that's, again, a wound. And this is connected to home and family and mom. Communication styles, siblings, to be specific, and learning. Siblings and learning, siblings and communication. This is the writing energy, the energy of the writer. So you can have, yeah. With this kind of energy, Chiron, wounds, this person's supposed to take those wounds and write about them, like to communicate about them, to share, make up stories around them even. because it's in Pisces, really creative Pisces energy. Then there can be some perceptions, right? Because Pisces is so sensitive. So there can be some perceptions about my wounds that may be a little fuzzy. It's a possibility. Normally, when people have a retrograding Saturn, they say that they feel like they've done this life before because it feels extra heavy, extra burdensome. Like, oh God, I'm still doing this? Really? Again? Why? This is difficult. I didn't like it the first time, that kind of thing. Can y'all hear that lawnmower? There's like so many branches you can hear hitting the blades, and I feel so bad for the lawnmower. Okay, you have a Venus at 20 in Leo. She's fun. You're having a Venus return this year, which means you're going to have a Venus reset. So Venus is our love language. So this can be self-love, but this is deep. This is intense. Pride energy. Fun and colorful. Maybe a little dramatic even. Yeah, a love for traveling. That could be a thing. But even like hair and costumes, whenever we think drama and dramatics and entertainment, we think costumes, we think wigs, we think jewelry and whatnot, right? And all that kind of stuff. Well, Venus here, hers has a deep connection to the past. It's really intense, but it's like got a connection to, I'm the authority figure even. Feminine energy though. It's an interesting mixture that you have here, but this is the beliefs that you carry. So this can be connected to your spirituality, right? Whether it's mystical, because you have a Venus at a mystical degree. So when we think about getting messages and information and knowing things and premonitions and maybe feeling like you get information ahead of time, you have a lot of stuff in this 9th house where some people say they talk to God here. This is your willpower energy in this location. But looks to me like extended education maybe at one time, right? Did you have a love for that? Or maybe you were actually a teacher. Maybe this could even be drama teacher, right? Actors, actresses, performance energy. Like this is Leo energy. Play, pretend and play. Make believe, more creative energy. You've got some really unique stuff up here in terms of that. And expressing and communicating, being the authority figure, but in a really unique way. Sometimes this is just like art class, extended education, just somebody who's a student of art, someone who's a teacher of art. Your Jupiter's even, it's in a quincunx to that. Oh, so that would make it uncomfortable. Uncomfortableness. Wow, the authority and the speech. I had someone saying this to me a few days ago or whatever it was, and they were just like, I don't know what it is. People, it's almost like I've had a couple of people say this. It's almost like they're afraid to talk to me, or they'll back away, or I'm walking down the hallway and they'll literally like go to the wall and walk in the other direction, like as if they don't want to, be near me or crash course with me type of thing, or walk beside me. Like they're afraid of me, they think. And it's people who have like this really authoritative kind of approach or speech. It's interesting. What I do like here is your moon. You have a really big, strong water trine here in partnerships, spirituality. This is karmic energy. This is ancestry. You've got a lot of energy for that too. A lot of deep ancestral stuff. And this can be property for sure. But partnerships is here. Sometimes Pisces energy can be, public figures, royalty. Like there can be connections sometimes, but because the moon is really strongly connected here, even with an object up here at 24. This is with a centaur, accepting a vision. Sensing things may go wrong or that there are serious issues that are being hidden, but accepting that your vision may only be that, nothing more. Feelings of persecution for one's belief, perceiving conspiracies, real or imagined. Interesting. Now that has got to be complicated because that's in your 8th house of trauma. Ooh. And that is in a big water trine, and water is memory. That means there's a, I say buttload, but a boatload. This is a boatload of history and the past and karma. It's oozing. So significant one-on-one relationships are going to be important to you. You feel nurtured by them. And if this is accurate with your chart, working, career, long-term goals, things being massively organized, orderly, structured, clean, just you're very serious. I mean, you'd be a great worker because you've got Capricorn, you've got house, earth, and the earth placements. So these people are really grounded and very, something about them feels very stabilizing. But yeah, this is the analytical person, the accountant, very serious boss energy. Virgo at 22 in the 10th house. These can be managers, people who work for corporate America. If they work for themselves, that's possible. But burdens and work are a big deal here. Big, big deal. So yeah, feeling nurtured in those significant one-on-one relationships, money and finances, and food being one of the creature comforts. Creature comforts come up for you. Shared values, the earth. So Susie, you haven't seen this chart before, but I have to ask, does this chart sound like you at all? Because sometimes we get a chart and if you haven't seen it, there's no way to prove it other than for you to respond and to say what you think about what you're hearing. Yeah, the Saturn on the 3rd house cusp line, it's conjunct it. So this can be a mixture. Very serious about money and income, and also cautious, very cautious with my values and with my love. Meaning someone who's not going to rush into things and who's very much going to be about taking steps and knowing that the steps are necessary. Tradition may even be a word that comes up for you, where it's connected to, courting and like the health thing. Very traditional in that way. But communication and learning, maybe with a Saturn retrograde, maybe there was a delay in that for you as a child. Our thoughts can be very organized and structured, and they might feel labored and slow, although you have Jupiter here, so this is kind of tricky. Jupiter, it might even present as learning disabilities, like when we're younger. I'm not like I wouldn't consider myself like a health astrologer when it comes to, there are some things that jump out that are obvious, but I don't have the right words to talk about it. How about that? But I know Jupiter can add to restrictions in terms of communication, talking, reading, writing. Jupiter here in Capricorn in the 3rd and then Saturn right there can increase restrictions, which would increase slowdowns. Okay. Delayed speech, and maybe that means somebody stuttered when they were younger. I don't know for sure, because I would have to study all that kind of stuff. So Susie, I'm not seeing you here, but without any confirmation or feedback, I think that's where we're going to end that. I think that's where we're going to leave that. And you'll just have to let me know. Oh, she was typing. Okay, some parts definitely do. I'm softer, though, and a bit of an introvert by nature. Well, absolutely, with the Saturn. Love caring, listen to people, my big family, big change in my life at my age, getting into shape. Yeah, well, that's where the Saturn this is definitely introvert energy right here, for sure. And the only other thing, though, that's introvert can be when the sun would be placed in the 12th house. So again, I go back to the birth information. Like, was it word of mouth? Was it just shared with you? Did you have it from an official certificate? Did mom? I was just curious if anytime if it doesn't make sense. And yeah, when I say introvert, because you have the sun in the 10th house in this chart, and those people take command. you know, um, they're serious. They take command. But what you're kind of describing is, I mean, you're going to be sensitive, that's for sure, with the Pisces in the 4th house. That's very sensitive nature with home and family, for sure. And the fact that Sirius is there in significant one-on-one relationships, maybe that's also what you were saying makes sense. Because Sirius is also kind of like that moon energy where that's really almost a need for you, right? To have those people in your life and to make sure that they're well taken care of. That's what Taurus does well. And the people that you're bonded with, according to this chart, like I said, karmic energy, deeply, deeply bonded. And karmic doesn't have to be bad, right? It just can mean that there's a lot of history here. And that 24 degrees on that 9th house cusp line of foreign lands, foreign languages, foreign countries. Feminine energy is really strong there. But a Scorpio moon in the 1st house? Woo! I mean, passion, power, intenseness is so psychic energy. And honestly, when people meet anybody who has a Scorpio moon, like you can almost see it in them immediately, right at hello. There is just such a deep intenseness to them. And the intense doesn't have to necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but it is also possible because this moon has this angle from your north and your south node, right? The moon is in a big T square with the past and the history of group energy and being quite detached, actually. That's what this says. You could be very detached. Means the group energy is important. Friends are important, but you can be detached for them. But very unique and very different energy. And then at the same time, the shocks and the surprises and the moving forward with fun and children enjoying creativity. So you think this is you? Oh, you were managerial. Okay, so here's the thing. Right, in the workplace. Okay. 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 Right. So this would have absolutely been a professional part of your life. I was reading it from your 10th house. So absolutely in the career area, professional part of your life. And with a person with a chart like this, people would come to you all the time. Virgos are smart. They have the ability to listen, to go through the details. They're researchers. They can connect all the dots. I call them the jack of all trade type of energy, the fixer. Virgo is the fixer for sure. They are. All right. Well, then it sounds like that is you. Mhm. Hey, Christy, how are you? That's right. Virgo has lists for their lists. Absolutely. Yeah, Christy, she's got her Virgo in the 10th, just like you do. So y'all understand each other big time. Lists for their lists. And her son trines her. See, that's that energy where people kind of just are like, this person knows what to do. And there's something about them where they have the experience, they have the knowledge. Yeah, that boss energy, yeah, is the tried, the true, the tested. It's the authority figure. It's the one where when in doubt, what was that sign in that one movie? It was that one Christmas movie, and the kid, I forget what movie it was, It's a Wonderful Life, and he didn't know what to do, and he saw the sign when he saw the druggist putting the wrong thing in the bottle, and it said, "If you're not sure, if you don't know, go ask dad," type of thing. Yeah. If you're not sure, go ask dad, because dad will steer you in the right direction, and that's 22 degrees of Virgo. That's 22, 23 degrees Saturn in Capricorn trining Virgo. Absolutely. Boss energy. Like, these are the people who can go into the grocery store or any store for that matter, and they don't work there, but other customers will come up to them and maybe ask them questions as if they work there, because these people look like they know what the hell they're doing. It's just the reality of it. They look like they know what they're doing. That's right. Regulus is in her 9th house. Absolutely. It's conjunct her Uranus. Did you see that? Yeah. Authority figure energy. She's got double Uranus is authority, but needing to break away from the group, but also is Regulus. I'm the boss here, damn it. And then her freaking node is right there. And she even has Egyptian Hathor right there at 25. More physical, first house, Aries energy. Yeah. A lot of energy that is kind of like leadership quality energy. Mhm. Strong stuff. Yeah. All right. So Susie, I'm going to put you in to keep you in the chart. That way we've got you in the system. And the next time you come back, we can always look at some other things now that we feel like that's your chart, that we're confident. And we are moving on. So nice to you. Afternoon, nice to you. I see you've put your digits in lots of little pieces for me. Are you still here? I think it says July 20th, 1982, 4:17 a.m., Chicago, Illinois. Uh, oh, well, then that's a chart. Are you still here? Okay. So technically, birth would be 4:47 a.m. I died and was brought back to life. So the brought back to life would be at 4:47 a.m. Interesting. Well, let's pull that chart up. Let's create that chart. You got a birthday coming up next month. Okay, I got to put an A there. Oh, the software. Okay. They still have some work to do on the software. Okay, let's see what we got here. Have you seen your chart before, Nice? Correct. My heart stopped after I was born. Okay, well, let's see if this is you. Well, I can tell you right now, you were born on a new moon, and you're having your granddaddy new moon this year, by the way. Holy shit, you have a Mercury part of that. No wonder. Okay. Vertex point was trining your sun on your birth. The node was at 13 and Sirius is conjunct your node, vice versa. Physical body, mother, divine mother, goddess energy at 13. Your heart stopped. And it wasn't until, that's a long amount of time. That's a long amount of time. From 417 to 447. That's a big difference. Holy shit. That seems like a lot of time. Oh, Uranus was at 0. Oh, God. Okay, Uranus was at 0. Mars was at 22. Venus was your great benefic. Okay. Interesting. Midheaven 18. Well, it's funny because the Mercury kind of really jumped out. And I was going to say, you're saying that the heart, but the communication here, Uranus and Leo energy. Your Leo energy begins at 0 in the second house, but your third house cusp line, where Mercury rules, third house, is 21 degrees of Leo. 21 degree comes up again. So this is all Jupiter stuff. Holy crap. Okay. So Uranus can be disruptions. And the 5th house would be a thing, because that's the house of the heart. Okay. Yeah, this vertex stuff. Mom, feminine energy, moon energy, family. And Jupiter. So Saturn is your great malefic with the sun down there. It's at 16. Hmm. 21, 21, 27. So you have Pluto angling right between the moon your sun and your moon. Pluto is sitting right in between them with a square. And look, Hygeia is in the heart. Interesting. And it's at a Uranus degree. Surprises, shocks and surprises. Wow. I mean, it really, it's like written in the degrees more than anything. Because normally when big stuff occurs, to me, that's a big thing. I mean, the child was, coming along okay for 9 months, and then mom has the baby, and the baby's born, and all of a sudden it stops breathing. It's like, holy shit. And that timeline that you have, 4:47 a.m. is when they brought you back. Wow. I'm no medical person. That just seems like such a long amount of time. Have you looked at both of the charts? I'm just curious. Yeah. Well, the thing with these, yeah, exactly. Sun, moon, rising, and Mercury in Cancer. The thing about the 10 degrees on your rising, which is interesting, right? Is it's Saturn energy. And that's your great malefic. That's what I'm saying. The stuff I'm seeing in the chart, it's really in the degrees. I mean, not that this isn't, I mean, there is some intense stuff here. There is like there's an abundance of energy that speaks to, surprises, shocks, disruptions by degree, but also because this is at 0. But when you look at the Great Malefic, rules the number 10, and for you it's Saturn. And then when you also take in the information about Cancer, which is about, some say Cancer literally is like the birthing process itself. We're leaving one realm and we're going into another, because your old home was the womb, right? When you're born, you're leaving that realm, you're leaving the womb, and you're being born into a new life, because now you're born, now you're an individual. And if Saturn at that 10 degrees, Saturn could slow and shut things down. Saturn can put up a stop sign. Saturn can, but it's just kind of fascinating seeing that on paper. And there was a trine to Scorpio at 10 degrees on the birth. And this is Shiva. Destruction in order to make way for a new creation. Experiencing major loss and emerging to create one's self anew. Deep awareness that all things must end. How you prepare for the end and what comes after. That's like the most obvious thing I can see in this chart to describe what you just described. But it's only one thing, and it seems like it should be multiple things. Yeah, there is a lot of red angling, but again, all the red angling is all the Libra energy. And I think that might have been part of the problem too, right? Because this is partnership energy. Mars can be a surgeon energy, right? And so that's all getting angled and squared by all this Cancer energy that you have. And the 12 degrees was in a big T-square with the North and the South node. And this is the strategist. This was someone who's, okay, if we have, this is what's going on, this is the next step. This is what's going on, this is the next step we take. We go to plan B, we go to plan C. And so that was under stress and tension at the time of the birth. Mom, of course, in the 4th house. And emotions, family, all of that. Huh, interesting. To be honest, I don't think I've ever looked at anybody's chart where they have described, they died and they were born and heart stopped and then they brought them back. They kept poking my heart with a needle 3 times. Mm, they weren't going to do it. They only did it because my mother went to high school with the doctor. They wouldn't have done it anyway? Holy shit. Really? You were told to go off of the first one. Well, yeah, I agree. Because that is when you made the entrance into this world. I totally agree. Umbilical cord was around my neck. I took a breath and passed. Okay, so to me, and the fact that you were brought back, wow. So not only the fact that you were brought back, but from what you just described was, had it not been a friend to your mom, that the doctor was a friend of your mother, or that they went to high school together, we'll put it like that they wouldn't have kept trying. Holy shit. So that's where all this deeply bonded energy. A friend of your mom, they were probably more than friends at one time. Just saying. It's a trine to all the Scorpio energy. It just is. See Sirius right here? Sirius can represent mom, and it's at a Venus degree, desire. I'm just pointing this out. And that's what was trining the 13 degrees that you had near your ascendant at 10. You see that? And then Shiva there at 10. Wow. Wow. But yeah, the 5th house is romance. I'm just saying. And it's Scorpio. Hello? We weren't just, we had some fun together. Okay. It's in the house of fun with my body. And I mean, like, having fun. Just saying, it's Scorpio energy. Wow. Interesting. Huh. And you also, Hathor's there. And she trined your midheaven at 18 degrees. As did Mercury and the moon. I mean, if it wasn't for this great big water trine and technology, you said it was because they injected your heart 3 times. Well, that was science, and that's what this is here, science. Wow. I feel like you had a bubble around you. It just seems as though you broke the story, the myth of that sounds like a Jupiter story. And you know what? It is a Jupiter story. Look, even though Jupiter wasn't your great benefic, just because of where your sun's located in this chart, if it's accurate, right? Venus would be considered your great benefic. And yes, she's at an extreme degree here, crisis point. So this is on point, right? Choices and options, decisions, 12th house, hospital. That makes sense. Institutional, healing institutions. That makes a lot of sense. But it was because of the past relationship. You see? Jupiter at the physical degree, the body, literally the body, 1 degree, Aries degree. Ooh. So that means Jupiter and Venus, the 2 benefics of the zodiac, were trining. There you go. That's why you're here. Holy shit. Wow, what an awesome story. Freaking awesome. Mhm. Wow. I can't believe that you're the first person whose chart that I've looked at with this story. I mean, I know people are children, babies are born all the time with the umbilical cord, but you're the first person that I've ever chart that I've ever looked at with that story. I have had other charts that were, difficult births or, yeah, just really difficult births, but not the umbilical cord and I was dead for 30 minutes thing. And then here I am talking to you about it, right? I haven't had that one yet. You're the first. So, woohoo. But what an astrology lesson. I mean, really, because the story, when you hear it, it's like Jupiter had to be a part of this. And lo and behold, it was. And it was. But look how Jupiter showed up. It's fascinating because in a woman's chart, a person typically, if she's looking to get married to a male, it's Jupiter. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, I'm not here to be like, hey, this was your daddy or something like that. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's really interesting because here was this beautiful connection on this day. Because Venus is not an especially fast mover. So 30 minutes later, she was still sitting here at 29. And even when she moves, then she'd be at 1. But yeah, this was that nice trine. Wow. Holy shit. So have you had to live? Interesting. I forgot to tell. Yeah. So do you live with any issues, any heart stuff? Because you have the Leo at 0, Aquarius at 0. Like you have that energy there. It's strong. And here's the other thing, that Jupiter was squaring your 0 degrees Leo. You follow? Yeah. Leo is the heart energy. Jupiter was squaring it. But you have a new moon. When you have a new moon on a new moon, because you were born with a new moon, your moon's at 21 degrees, which means you're having what they call a granddaddy new moon, which means you will be having a new beginning in your life and it will be obvious. And so it has to do with home and family, possibly expanding home and family, possibly because it's in your first house. Yeah. Beliefs about the future connected to mother wounds, ancestry, the past, the present, the future. This may even be a physical thing. Maybe there's something different that's going to be happening with your appearance. Jupiter can tend to be, I don't know, can make somebody look, like a movie star, right? Like a Hollywood figure. And it doesn't have to be all dramatic, although makeup and costumes and all that can be part of it. But we can even be a little bit just walking with more confidence because that's Jupiter. We walk with wisdom, sort of energy. This was a fascinating learning astrology. I love charts like this and with that story because, like I said, this was a first for me. And holy shit, it was, as they say, the devil's in the details. This proved that big time. Big time. But man, Shiva and Jupiter played a role. But Jupiter for sure squaring. And I even think, honestly, because you have this triangle right here at 20 degrees, it's a Scorpio degree. It's like Scorpio Pluto energy. It's conjunct your 3rd house cusp line. That's the house where we do talk and take a breath. You follow? Yeah. So do you have issues with asthma or breathing stuff? Again, I'm not a medical and astrology person, so I might just not have the right words, but is there anything like that? This can also have to do with talking and learning. But Leo normally is very optimistic energy, likes to have fun, loves to laugh. Big laughter energy is Leo. Play games. Fascinating. Okay, so parents have the trait for sickle cell. I don't. Oh, authority figures. Yeah. Definitely dad energy for sure. But yeah, 23 degrees, and this is the health report card. Hygeia. Interesting. Issues around health. Okay. Dad energy's up there in the 10th. The sun is dad, mom and dad energy, the history, the ancestry. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was kind of like a gift to me. I appreciate that. That was fascinating. All right. So again, had another live stream, and I don't think anybody showed up who said they needed their chart looked at, whose charts I had ready. It's just the way it happens sometimes, but that's okay. We will be back here again, and I think we'll be Saturday night. Every Saturday we're doing something. Every Saturday. So the first and third Saturdays of the month, we are live on YouTube, doing the same thing we just did here right now, looking at charts. Same method, same everything. The second Saturday of the month, we have an astrology class. We just had ours last Saturday. And all those courses are recorded. So there is an online course if anybody's ever interested. If you can't make the classes, or if you can only sometimes make the classes, if you're interested, doesn't matter where you're at in astrology, just send me an email if you're interested in that. And then the fourth Saturday of the month, I should say, we do a private lives. It's just like this, but it's private. Nobody gets to be in on it except those who send an email. It is very small. It's limited spaces only available for that sort of a group situation. Private live streams the fourth Saturday of every month. Yeah. Yeah. So I am glad that we got to spend this time together, and we'll be back on Saturday. Okay. So if you didn't get a chance to have your chart looked at, come on back, send me an email, and we'll take a look at your chart. All right. So Saturdays, and lately I've been here on Tuesdays doing the same thing. Okay. And if you are very serious about it and you're like, gee, I need you to look at this, again, just send an email. All right, everybody, you take care. Have a good day, and I will see you Saturday. Bye-bye.